presentation with the Turkish handmade carpets. That will take maximum 20 minutes of your precious time, if it is okay with you. During the presentation, if any questions arrive to your mind, don't hesitate, ask them to me, please. I may forget many things to tell you about this art, but you can bring my mind by asking your questions. That's very okay with me. And before I start with it, as being a part of our tradition, I would love to offer you something to drink. Wherever you go, if it is a Turkish house, place, whatever it is, there will be always someone loving to offer you something to eat or to drink. If you don't accept it, we might get offended. The options of the drinks are apple tea, Turkish tea, coffee, and bottled water. You may have extras. You're not only limited with one drink. So may I start with apple tea, please? Who would like to have apple tea? Üç. Dört elma. Freshly brewed Turkish tea. Bir, iki, üç tane çay, Türk çayı. Coffee.
Medium sugar?
Medium, orta şekerli. And bottled water. Bir. İki tane de su. Do you have any idea about this art, carpet making by hand? Not so much. And you must have some already, I believe, at home of yours, which you're using. Any oriental carpet? Yes. All right. So I think you're a little familiar to that by all these carpets you might have seen throughout your lives. I'm not talking about the machine-made ones, but the handmade. So I would like to refresh your memories on this, starting with explaining you first. Timur, şu şeye yaklaşırsan tezgaha onlara doğru. What sort of things are needed to start with making a handmade carpet? Apparently, this little loom is a silk-on-silk carpet weaving loom. No matter if it is wool, cotton, or silk, ladies and gentlemen, this is the way how we make them. The vertical threads, which are called, I think, the warps in English, are needed to be accumulated up and down, front and back, all the way around the loom of the carpet, having a certain number of those side by side as they are set in two tiers, back and front. So these vertical threads are those which you can see better in that enlarged photo picture. To tie a knot, either Turkish double or Persian single, two warps are needed. One to be pulled out from front, the other from the back tier. And here are the colored threads to be formed into a knot so as to make the pile part of the carpet. Do I make myself clear so far?
Here, could we take a picture of this?
Certainly, sir.
If I want to take a picture, because you see the difference between the Turkish double knot and the Persian single, and you can see why it's a lot more work for a Persian carpet than for a Turkish
carpet.
Much
True.
more work.
That's why I said if every single carpet sold in this area is double knotted as they claim, all 74 million of us should be weaving day and night. This many items on sale.
The Turkish double knot is needed to be wrapped around two warps, ladies and gentlemen, whereas single knot is wrapped around one warp but twisted behind the other. So this is the difference. So when it comes to maybe close one side of the two, the beginning is about the same. Not about, exactly the same. Here is the difference appears on the other side. Symmetrically, it's been tied around two warps. The Persian knot goes around one warp, but twisted behind the adjacent one. Depends on the density of the nuts, thickness or finesse of the material, silk, wool or cotton. This difference appears to be minimum 25 up to 35% more. In the making of Turkish double knotted carpets briefly, that much more, both of labor and material are required. The reason why we Turks take the longer route is apparently to obtain more durable carpets by doing so. Elsewhere in Orient, most of the carpets are single knotted, as it is a bit easier to make it. Don't you misunderstand me, I'm not trying to black the names of the single knotted carpets. They are all beautiful, very long-lasting carpets. Ours are a little more durable and need more time to make it. Once a row is filled up with these nuts, they push them down, the weavers I'm talking about, hardly, so as to get that required tension of the neck of the carpet. After it, before passing to make the following row, they must put the weft threads going through the warps, starting from one side, reaching all the way to the other, and again with little pushes, they set the weft onto the nuts, and then start to making the row coming next onto it. It's a must. So briefly, warp, weft, and the nuts are needed to make a handmade carpet. Would you like to see me tying one of those Turkish knots on this?
Ulan bu kokmuyormuş.
One from front, as I mentioned earlier. The other comes from the back tier. And this thread needs to go around two of those. That's a Turkish double knot. It brings both of the threads side by side, even though one comes from the back tier. That is the pro effect of making the carpet very, very strong. The design, if it's a very intricate, complex one, must be drawn in that millimetric cartoon for the girls to read it and copy onto her carpet. Every little single square, which you will see on this diagram, is the reference to a knot, to a double knot for her to apply. So this is the very important part for her to have in her hand. If there is will, there is always way. Götürebiliriz şefim geri.
So for them, it's very repetitious. It's, you know in your head 7 red threads, and then the next row is going to be 3 blue threads.
Very true.
You know it in your head, huh?
Yes. Turkish carpets are made of wool, cotton, and silk. Wool, cotton, and silk. Depends on the number of the material or materials combined in one carpet itself. The Turkish handmade carpets are generally categorized into 4 major groups, ladies and gentlemen, being wool on wool, wool on cotton, cotton on cotton, and silk on silk carpets. Bir yüreğini açalım. Kırmızı yaz, kırmızı.
You guys got all that now? We're going to get your test after a while.
Is the kiln made the same way?
No. Kiln is made this way. Kilns are woven, interwoven textures. Only warp and weft are woven together. carpets are knitted.
Could
This is
you
a
repeat
pure
that?
wool on wool carpet.
What is the first one called?
Kilim.
Kilim.
K-I-L-I-M. Bir kilim açsana. Now let me show you a kilim by the side of that wool on wool carpet, so that you may visualize the difference much better. Kilims are also lighter than carpets because they are not knitted. This is kilim. But they are both for outdoor and indoor usage purposes. You can use them outdoor also, in balconies, terraces, in the garden. But carpets are needed to be used inside the houses.
So you can actually see through these in places.
Yes.
The kilns.
Yes, kiln. Large sizes are also used nowadays for decoration purposes, to cover beds, to cover sofas, to make a kind of oriental corner in the decoration of one's house. Different sizes of the kilims are available. That's a very, very basic one, by the way, a basic kilim. Rah bir sumakta gitsene. From different parts of Turkey, kilims are embroidered also. First woven like that, and then embroidered, which is a certainly extra work to be involved into it. If it's all embroidered and woven with wool, known as Rara kilims, from the land of High Mesopotamia, which is some part of southeastern Turkey, they also put some silks into it, known as cicim or sumak. These three, briefly, are the members of the kilim family. Narrower ones, larger ones, smaller ones, 4x6, 5x7, various sizes are available in our collection, ladies and gentlemen. To name it a wool on wool carpet, as you can imagine, the pile part of it must be out of wool, or also the base. Base part of a handmade carpet is known as established by the warps and the wefts. The nuts are 100% pure wool, and it is called wool on wool carpet. Generally, wool on wool carpets are designed with big or small geometric motifs. And those are the ancestors, forefathers of the very, very early, very first made hand-knitted pile carpets, dating us back to almost 3,000 years.
Can I ask, is there a difference in the number of knots?
Of course, depends on the finesse or thickness of the thread used in a carpet. You will find various numbers of the knots applied per area size into it.